period where spirits would come to me in my sleep state. I would feel them, and I would tell them, pray to God. But if I don't feel it myself, if I don't believe it myself, am I helping them? No. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can
They're
they just
like,
go, what are you doing fake again with me for? You know,
yeah,
like,
you
you don't
you
even
do
believe
it.
it
Yeah,
yourself. Like,
yeah,
what are you talking
Feel
about?
the emotions.
yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah, no, they when you tell them something you do not actually feel or believe yourself, you're in a you're actually making them their life worse in a way, because what happens then is they know you're being fake about it for a start, and then they go, well, what do I do now? Like, I don't know what to do now. If that she thinks praying to God works, but she doesn't actually feel praying to God works. So what do I do? You know, thinking praying to God works, it doesn't work for me either. And does God even exist? You know, sometimes is the response to that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
you know, because that's what they did on earth to avoid things.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nelly?
My cousin who that ended her life 15 years ago, she came to me last summer, and I asked her, how is it where you are? And she said it's cold.
Mm.
And I didn't, yeah, I didn't even thought, yeah,
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
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 Most time in the spirit world, if people are in a cold location, it means they're detuned emotionally. Yep. So they're cold to the emotions.
Mm.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. You can get so cold that you can be encased in ice in the spirit world.
Mm.
Yep. So there's people in the spirit world right now who are like encased in ice, like living in the Arctic inside the ice, kind of feeling.
Mm.
That's how bad it can
Dumb.
get with
Yeah.
emotion. People
Yeah.
who are so shut down. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Very hard to face for those, because obviously, you know, there's like they've got to thaw out themselves a bit emotionally, but they're living in a place that causes them to not want to do that. So,
Mm.
yeah.
The good thing is that she came to you, you know,
Mm.
that shows that she's sort of, it doesn't feel like she's trying to influence you or live through you. She just came to you,
Yeah.
and that's
And shared a
means,
truth too.
yeah,
That's
she's
very
honest.
unusual for many spirits when
Yeah.
they come to people on
Yeah.
earth. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been praying for her like the time before.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that's one reason why she would have come,
Yeah.
because of your interest.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So is that also a way to help them, to pray for them?
Yeah. It
Very
usually
much.
helps people be a bit more sensitive to what's going on in their life, you know? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can remind, like when she comes, you can also remind her of her life on earth. That it's going to help
That's
her.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very hard for her.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And
Yeah.
just remind her that she can deal with it, deal with her life from where she is now. And yeah,
Yeah.
there's obviously some opening now to do that because well, your prayers have attracted her to you. So yeah. Mm.
And also because they I don't have it so much now anymore, but I had a period where spirits would come to me in my sleep state. I would feel them, and I would tell them, pray to God. But if I don't feel it myself, if I don't believe it myself, am I helping them? No. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can
They-
they
they're
just
like,
go, what are you doing fake again with me for? You know,
yeah,
like,
you
you don't even
do
believe
it.
it
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what are you talking
Feel
about?
the emotions.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah, no, they when you tell them something you do not actually feel or believe yourself, you're in a you're actually making them their life worse in a way, because what happens then is they know you're being fake about it for a start, and then they go, well, what do I do now? Like, I don't know what to do now. If that she thinks praying to God works, but she doesn't actually feel praying to God works. So what do I do? You know, thinking praying to God works, it doesn't work for me either. And does God even exist? You know,
Yeah.
sometimes is the response to that. Like,
Yeah.
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 So yeah, be very careful about sort of faking what you believe to other
Yeah.
people, but
Yeah.
particularly what you believe to spirits, because you know, obviously, a lot of times they come to people on earth looking for a solution because they haven't found one yet
Mm.
in the spirit world, and mostly because they have been uneducated about the spirit world. So these guys were uneducated about the spirit world, and so what they did is their history of the Catholic faith caused them to believe that they'd arrived. They knew they hadn't arrived in hell, because hell is fiery torment, right? That was the teaching. So they knew they hadn't arrived in hell. So then they go, well, where am I then? They are actually in the hells, but because they believed the hells were fiery torment, they thought they hadn't arrived there yet. And so in the Catholic faith, as you might know, there's a teaching of purgatory, which is sort of a mid-state where people go, according to their faith, where people go who haven't gone to heaven, who haven't gone to hell yet, right? And historically, there was also ideas in the Catholic faith that you can only pay to get out of it, right? Or have a priest pray for you to get out of it. So with these guys, nobody cared for them, so they didn't ever expect a priest to pray for them to get out of it. And so, and also on the other hand, they're afraid there's no people to pay, you know, money to get out of it either. So they're afraid, if I change, am I going to end up in hell? So better to not change, better to just stay afraid. Stop.
Yeah, and I think they had the belief that a lot of people have that, you know, if I have my feelings, and because I have a lot of shame as well, it makes it more real, that then it actually is negatively affecting my condition.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like, well, then we will be drawn to a darker place because we're having these feelings that feel very dark and terrible. Just don't feel, you know.
Yeah, don't feel.
Yeah.
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 So that had started on earth, don't feel, impressed upon them by their parents, but by this stage they're impressing it upon themselves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you tell spirits to do something that you don't actually feel, it's they you know, they're very aware of what's really going on inside of you, even if they're in a lower state, that you can usually tell that your feelings and your words don't match, you know. They can read
so
you in that way.
in a place where I have that happen again, there's actually not much I can do, or
Well, there's things you can
do.
share. What you can just say. A more honest thing to do would be say, I've been told.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily yet believe it myself, but I've been told that, you know, you can ask God for truth. So try that, you know, like, or I've been told that you can ask God for love. Well, try that. Or I've been told that, you know, the reason why people feel cold is because they're afraid of something, afraid of change. And what are you afraid of? You know, like, you don't have to say even that that's what you believe, but if a spirit's coming to you, there is generally a feeling in the spirit that you might be able to help them in some way. So you just need to be honest in the help. If you don't believe something, then don't make out you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of be real.
Yeah.
The realness is what will connect to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than anything. And you can say, if you tried and come back and tell me if it works.
Because that might
if you don't have the faith.
if that might help your
might
faith.
help you.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I was hoping that my cousin, would come here and have been listening in the 6 seminars I've been to.
That you've been to. Have you been asking her to come?
Actually, no. Yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't come. No.
Oh,
And just because you ask, you might.
Seminar.
Yeah.
And just because you ask, you might not either, right?
We'll see you in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Can we go straight back to
Yeah,
Mark?
just behind.